morning. So today I thought I would do a video for some core work. So you'll be on the floor. Of course, you could try to modify this sitting on a chair or doing something like that. Have a new mic today too, so hopefully this is going to work well so you'll be able to hear well. So anyways, I have a mat. It's not necessary if you're on carpet. It just helps with some of this stuff so I don't slip. I have a resistance tubing. So we'll use that. Again, you can modify and do this stuff without. But our core is so important for us to work on. We tend to kind of overlook that a lot of times. We work on our arms or our legs. But our core is very important. So we'll just give you a short little workout that you can do for your core today. So I'm going to turn on a little bit of music. It's always just funner to have a little bit of music to be able to listen to. So we'll just have a little bit of music here in the background. And so let's just start by warming up. So if you want to just sit down, you can take your legs out in front of you. You can even cross your legs, whatever feels best. Just breathe up. Big breath in and big breath out. One more time, big breath in and big breath out. Just start to lean side to side. Just kind of waking up through the spine. Again, you could probably modify a good majority of these from a chair. Just moving side to side, waking up through that torso there. Now this time bring it up and reach towards your toes. Now you might not be able to reach your toes, that's okay. Just come where you can. If you're maybe on your thighs, maybe you're all the way up here, but we just kind of want to get some of that forward flexion, feeling that length along the back of the legs. Reach up again and extend forward. And release. Sit back, bring those legs right here. You're going to do a toe tap. Lift, lift. So again, if you're seated on a chair, this is totally doable. Lift. Feeling those lower abdominals, so if you turn to the side so you can see. So this lower abdominal has to work to lift. And you can make it harder by keeping your toes up. Or if you don't want that, keep them on the floor. Job. Okay, you're going to roll over onto all fours. So this here is called a bird dog. So it works on our balance. What I want you to do is take that foot back first. Okay, you're going to do both sides, so it doesn't really matter. I'm doing the front here because it's easier to see. So those toes are on the floor. Now when you're ready, you're going to take that opposite hand. Lift it up. Now feel as soon as you've lifted that up how you kind of are off balance. So you have to pull all of this in to stabilize through that core. Now lift the toe. Yeah, it gets a little bit harder, right? And just kind of move forward and back. Forward and back. Woo. Yep, see, even we lose our balance. And reset. Now I want you to try that on the other side. So take that toe back, extend the arm, then once you're ready, then lift the toe. Be careful that you don't roll the hips up like this. Keep the hips nice and level to the floor, extending that hand. You should feel all of that core working from the back to the front. And reset. So we're just going to do that a few more times now that you kind of understand that. We're going to just move through it a little bit quicker. So you just go at your pace. And switch. You just keep switching. side to side. And we hold that long enough for the core to figure out how to balance and stabilize. Switch sides. Let's do one more time each side. Take it out. And back. And out. And back. Beautiful job. How did you do? I'm going to scoot this back just a little bit here. Now, I want you to lay down on your stomach. Did you ever think that you would be Superman? Well, watch. I'll show you how you can be Superman. So our legs are on the floor. Your thighs are on the floor. Okay? Keep those toes down. So what I don't want you to do is lift up those legs at this point. Okay? We're working just on the top part of the body. So we extend those arms out long like you're going to fly. Then what you're going to do is you inhale, you're just going to lift up. So you lift up those arms. Feel how that tenses all the way through the back. But keep your feet on the floor, okay? So take that down. Just rest for a second. Now on your next inhale, just lift up. Hold. And release. I know it looks like we're not really doing a whole lot, but you're working a lot on those big posture muscles in the back. Here we go again. Breathe in and lift. Hold. And release. We're going to do it 2 more times. Here we go. Lift. And release. And one more time. Take it up. Lift. And release. Whew. You can just rest that head on your arms for just a minute there. That's a little bit tough, right? But it's so good for us. So now we're going to just take that up just a little bit, and we're going to do what's called a swimmer. So the same thing where you're going to lift up those arms, but you're going to add legs, and you're going to swim those legs just like this, okay? So it's short little kicks, just like this, just off the floor. So you'll feel your hip bones are plastered here into the floor. All the movement comes. So what I don't want you to see is this. I'm not doing that. The legs are straight. So those thighs don't lift off the floor a whole lot. You'll feel a little bit of movement there, but it's mostly that bottom part of the legs. As you squeeze through the glutes and this upper part of the thigh, as you tighten that up, feel that tight, and then flutter, okay? Can you do it? Yes, you can, okay? 10 seconds, that's all you have to do. Okay, so lay down, take a few breaths. Are you ready? Yeah? Let's go. Lift it up and flutter. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Beautiful job. Sit back. You're going to sit back into a child's pose. So you're going to take those knees nice and wide, sit down into your hips, and just release forward. Feel that beautiful release through that back. Now, you're going to come forward. I want you to practice a plank, okay? I'm also going to show you how to do some wall push-ups, although I'm going to use my couch. You could use a wall, the counter, anything like that. But starting out with a plank position on the floor is also very good for us. It tightens all of that up. And of course, you totally can do it on your knees, okay? So you could be in a hover. The difference with a hover is you're on your arms. So we take our arms down like railroad tracks, so they're kind of like this. You can turn your hands this way or this way. It doesn't really matter. This way gives you a little more support. But what I don't want you to do is push through the hands so much. I want you to stabilize through the shoulder girdle. So we make sure those elbows are right underneath the shoulders. And we can hold right here. So this is a hover. Now notice my butt is not up here, it's down here, okay? A plank just takes it all the way up. Again, my butt's not here. You pull it down so you have one long line from the knees up through the head, okay? And you just hold right here. So we get into that position and we hold it. If you're a little more advanced and you want that position on the toes, you just pull it on the toes. Again, watch that you're not hiking your hips up. Pull it down, one long line right here. And you're just gonna hold, okay? So now that you understand the position, we're gonna go into that. And this is something that you can do like each morning, maybe each night before you go to bed. Just hold that plank. See if you can hold it for 15 seconds if you're just starting, okay? When you've got 15 seconds, then go to 20 seconds, okay? If you maybe are comfortable with it, or if you're starting with the hover, which is sometimes a little bit easier because it gives you a little more surface to hold the stability there, then maybe come up to the plank. And again, you can stay on the knees, so lots of levels of options there. But what we want to do is keep adding the time to that, okay? So we're gonna try and hold that for 20 seconds, okay? So find your position that you'd like. I'm gonna do it on my knees, a full plank, instead of the hover, but you can totally go down to that hover. Are we ready? Here we go, let's try it for 20 seconds. Just breathe, don't hold your breath. You're halfway there. Five, four, three, two, one, and release. Beautiful job. Now I want you to come over to your side. So this is a side plank. So we've been working everything pretty much from the front or the back. Now we're gonna work kind of on these obliques. You kind of have like a helix. These muscles run kind of in a crisscross pattern across from here through the center to the back, hooking into the hips. So we wanna make sure that we're working along those sides as well. So we bring that arm underneath. So notice my elbow's not out here. You want that elbow right underneath that shoulder. The bottom leg is bent, okay? If you're more advanced and you want to have both legs out, you can totally do that as well, okay? But we want to start with a better quality of move, better than trying to push up into something that's a little bit more challenging and not be able to hold it well, okay? So we're going to start here. The key is the push up with the hips. So if you get right here and you just hold that for 15 to 20 seconds, maybe longer, that's a good place to start. Maybe you can't even do 15 minutes, so do 5 seconds and rest, and then do 5 more seconds and rest, okay? But if you're good here, you're gonna extend that arm over top, and you're going to lift the leg up and down. It's just a small movement. As we add that small movement, instead of having that isometric hold, now we're dynamically moving the muscle as we're trying to push up and down. It causes more of a contraction, okay? But you can totally start with just holding it. 4 more, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Now you know we can't be lopsided, right? We can't only work one side, okay? If you've ever worked out with me, you know we always do stuff on both sides. So let's just switch over. Switch to the other side. So here we go. We line that up so our knee is in line with our hips, so our body is one long line. Our foot is here on the floor. Again, the mat just helps so that my foot's not sliding on the carpet, but it's not necessary, okay? So get that position, lift up through the hips. If you're ready, add that arm over top. You'll have that lengthens all the way through the side body, and lift. Just take it up and down. There you go. muscles in that body work for you. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Beautiful job. Just roll over onto your back. So what you're going to do is bring those feet close to your bottom, okay? You don't want them out here. You want those as close into your bottom as you can. All right, now what you're going to do, have these hands relaxed on the floor, shoulders are relaxed. Push through your heels and push your hips up. This is called a bridge pose. Feel all of those muscles in your back working, so you're stabilizing just on the top part of the shoulders and your feet. Hold it. And just release it down. So we gently roll that back down and release. Ready to go again? All right, let's go. Push up. Hold it there so you feel those glutes squeeze at the top. So we're just coming up and holding. We're going to add some variations to it in a moment. And release. Let's do it one more time. We're going to push up and hold, and we're going to add a variation. So push up and hold. Now as you're holding right here, you're going to actually push the hips up and down. Up. So again, we're squeezing through the glutes, the back side of those thighs. Those hamstrings are engaging a little bit to help assist. But the arms are very relaxed. Up. Up. You should feel that there in those glutes. Take it up and down. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. You feel that there in that back side? I hope so. You can always do more repetitions of this. Once you get the move down and you understand it, you can always add more of them at a different time. Okay, this time you're going to pull up. Keep those hips up. And now what you're going to do is lift, extend, bring it back, and down. The key is to keep those hips stable while you're moving that leg. So we've moved from 4 points, 2 feet, 2 shoulders, to 3 points, 2 shoulders, and 1 foot, okay? So it increases our balance work, which increases the work through the core. So let's try that back leg. Bring it up, lift, down, and in. Let's try it. Just keep going from side to side. Now you can just stay with the hip lift there, just pushing up through the hips if this leg extension variation is not working for you today. It is tougher, okay? So you find the option that works best for you. Last time, here we go. Lift, and down, and bring those hips down. Beautiful job. Now, I'm going to show you a reverse crunch. A lot of times when we're doing crunches, right, we do that whole roll and sit up stuff. It's not necessary. It actually can be bad for our back. But if we stay stabilized on the floor, we can always crunch up here. Again, so the key is just lifting the shoulders up. We don't have to do that full sit-up position. But here's a reverse crunch, because where we have a lot of problems here is like below the belly button, this lower part of the abdominals. So to target that, we do what's called a reverse crunch. So we pull the knees up and the hips up as we crunch from that bottom side. You feel that? Yes. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Beautiful jobs. Remember those knee taps that we did in the beginning when we were warming up while we were sitting up? So you can do that from this laying down or supine position. position and just tap. Feel how this has to pull in so much tighter. Now if it's too hard to keep the legs up, you can just take them down and up. So we rest the feet in between. And that works. We all have to start somewhere, so don't feel bad because you can't do maybe the higher option. If you're consistent and you stay with it, you'll get it. And again, if you want that option, those knees come up to tabletop, knees are over the hips to start, and we just start tapping. So that abdominal stays engaged the entire time. Sorry, I think that mic moves around. Tapping. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Now, so that you feel that difference between the lower part and the upper part, what we're going to do is we're going to do that curl up. So hands come right outside the temple. What we don't want to do is put it behind our neck and pull on our neck. A lot of times we do this and then we pull like this, elbows come in. So we put our hands by the side of our head, maybe by our ears, and we just lift, lift. So you feel those shoulders come up off the floor and feel how that moves up here to this upper part of the abdominal. Up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Just rest for a second. Feel all that? Should be nice and warm. Yes, what we want is good stability through the core because all of our movement comes from the core, okay? So when you're laying on your back like this, the easiest thing to do is to roll over onto your side. Then you can use your hands. We have this outside hand to push us up to where we can get onto the other elbow, okay? Once we're here, we can come to a seated position, okay? Because we're going to stay seated. And then eventually we'll show you how to get up from here as well. That's a worry for you. So if you have a resistance tubing, I just want to show you something that you can do with this while you're here. So put that resistance tubing underneath the arch of your foot. You're going to sit up nice and tall. Now if you're on a chair, you can do this on a chair. So you would be seated on the end of your chair and your feet would be down with your heels on the floor. And you can do this rowing movement there. Now when you pull back, you will probably notice you don't have a lot of resistance unless your legs are super long, okay? So what we want to do is choke up on that resistance tubing a little bit. Sit up nice and tall. Pull those abdominals in that we just worked, right? Then pull into the back. For 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull back and hold. Pull those shoulder blades down and back. And release. How do you feel? Yeah, can you feel that in your back? Those big postural muscles. But you also feel that that core is having to stabilize, especially as you pull in. So we're going to do one more set of those, okay? So choke up on that resistance. That's a great thing about these resistance bands is you can adjust the resistance to what works for you. You can pay attention to the colors. Yellow is the lightest, green is next. Typically, some brands have different colors and things, but most of them follow that yellow, green, red, blue pattern. That way it's consistent. Sit up nice and tall. Pull that belly button towards your spine. Your hands are out by your side. Row it back. So those elbows are coming back behind the back. Let me turn sideways a little bit so you can see better. Pull back. Notice my back is long and straight, so I'm not slumped like this. Okay? Pull the belly in, shoulders down and back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, job. Just set those off to the side. We're done with that. Take those legs back out in front. Whew. Hopefully you feel like you've got a good core workout. I will again do some other variations, but this is like a beginner core workout. Some of the basic things that we need to do for strengthening our core. Though I gave you some of those progressions or those options, but it's a good beginner place to start. So if you feel like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even do some of those, it's okay. Don't panic. Just know that you've got to start somewhere. So you just start with that plank, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. We start with the Superman, and maybe we can't even get our arms off the floor at first. But as you keep tightening through that core and keep trying to lift, one of these times you'll go, look, I lifted my arms, and it will happen. Exercise is about consistency, but we all have to start somewhere. So if we're really out of shape, haven't exercised for a long time, just know it doesn't happen overnight, okay? Let's go back to that lean side to side. Just lean over. Feel that big stretch. Come to the other side, just stretch over. Back to the center. Pull those arms forward. So you can round the back here. Round that forward. Maybe lean forward. Again, a good majority of this can be done from a chair. When we do the bird dog, when we're on all fours, this Superman, things like that, a little bit hard. Oh, I told you I was going to show you the wall push-ups. When we stand up, I'll do that. Lean up tall, hands come up. I want you to reach forward towards those toes again. Again, you might not be able to reach them. It's okay. Just go where you can go. Maybe you're right here on your shins, maybe at your knees, okay? As you keep doing it, it will get better. Feel that release. Just gonna move from side to side. Beautiful job. Take the legs a little bit wider. And then I want you to just come up and come forward. So as you've taken them wider, feel how that stretches this inner part of the thighs. You can flex the feet or point the feet. Feel how it feels different with both directions. And especially early in the morning, you might notice like it's early in the morning for me. I'm pretty tight in the morning because I've stretched all night. I didn't stretch at all yesterday either, so the more that you stretch, the better that gets. Okay, so you're going to bring those knees over. Remember I told you I'd show you how to get up. So we've pushed ourselves up to this position here. You're just going to roll over onto those knees to where you're on the knees. Then you can tuck your toes under so that you can push back onto the feet. Or if nothing else, if you know that you don't have enough strength in your legs at this point, make sure that you have a chair or something nearby so you can crawl over once you're here, get to that chair or whatever you have to lean on, hold on to that, and then help yourself pull up, okay? So let me come up and adjust this camera a little bit so that you can see. I'm going to use the back of the couch right here. In fact, I'll turn this a little bit more. So you can use your kitchen counter, you can use the wall. So if the wall is right here, you place your hands on the wall about shoulder width apart. So if they come up from your shoulders, right here, okay? Or I'm going to use the back of the couch. You could use your kitchen counter, your bathroom counter. The only thing you don't want to do is to use something. So like if you use a chair, make sure it's up against a wall so it's not going to slide. So if I use this here, I'm going to step back just a little bit so that you can see it. But as you're first starting, you can be totally much closer, but I want to step back so you can see. So you notice how my body's nice and long. I do it totally forward and back. What I'm not doing is this, okay? So if you have to do that, you've got to step your feet in closer so that you keep that long line through the body, okay? So that's how you make it more challenging. So as you start on the wall, you can always move your hands down a little bit on the wall. You step your feet back from the wall or the counter. But as you lower down, so you notice we did that plank. Plank is just holding. So it actually is a little bit easier because you just get into that position and you hold. Whereas here, we're moving dynamically. Okay, so we have our body in that long line position. And we're lowering down and pushing back. And down and back. So you noticed when we were down on the floor and we rolled over and we had to use our upper body to push ourselves up. Now, heaven forbid, part of why we do this and why I do what I do, and especially as I work with seniors or older population, is to protect them from falls. But every once in a while, even good able-bodied people will fall, okay? We want to be able to have the upper body strength to be able to help ourselves get back up. Plus, as we strengthen our bones, then we protect them from breaking if we do happen to fall, right? Okay, so as we stand in that position and lower down. So maybe start with 5. Maybe that might be enough for you. 10, if you've been exercising for a while, if you're any of my clients or members who have come, start with 10, maybe 15, okay? And then as you get comfortable where you've done those 15 and that seems easier, then you drop it down lower or you step the feet back. So as I step my feet back further, see how it's harder because you have that longer position. So we lower down and up and down and up, okay? You can also change the position of your arms. So from this military style where we come out wide, to we bring it in narrow. So if you do yoga, when you come down into crocodile, that's like a tricep push-up, okay? So the arms come straight in here by the body, okay? So you can alternate those push-ups and do that as well, bringing those arms in narrow instead of out wide here. We bring it in narrow, okay? So lots of things for you to work on, lots of tools to add to your toolbox. Again, stay consistent, find a schedule, figure out what works for you, especially during this time when we're all home on quarantine. I know things are starting to open up in certain areas, so that's great if you're able to get out and be more active, but especially if you're at risk and you need to be more careful and stay home a little bit. That's why I'm doing these videos, so that you have videos that you can do from home. Or maybe you live in an area where you don't have a YMCA or a gym or something that you can go to. You can do this right from the comfort of your own home. You will see over time that I will use different things such as the band. I'll be doing a workout with a stability ball, different things, so that if you wanted to add those to your routine, most of these things you can very easily find at like a Walmart and Target. Amazon carries a good majority of them, so there's places that you can get those things if you'd like to add them, but most of these exercises you can do without them, and you can find things that you can do without having to purchase extra equipment. So I hope that you have a wonderful day, stay safe and happy, and I will see you next time.